Moksha and Dr. David Mallasa and Dr. Haile Tasamma. The debates will proceed as follows. Mr. Yibekal will be given 45 minutes to present his work. After the presentation, it is the examiners to ask questions for Mr. Yibekal. The first opponent will be Dr. Sinaj, followed by Dr. Melkasa, and then Dr. Ahmed Hamdullah. After this, the floor is given to potential reference of the audience. Then after, there will be a coffee break. With this, I hereby give the floor to Mr. Yibekal to present his PhD dissertation. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, Chairperson, for my introduction, and also thank you for the audience for being here. My PhD defense. I am Yibekal Walle from Gondar University, as I mentioned by Chairperson. The title of today's PhD defense presentation, we call it Mathematical Modeling and Optimal Control Strategy of Pestes, Ruminants, or shortly we call it DPR, Dynamics in Ethiopia, by considering certain data taken from an Ethiopian context. This is already done by under the supervisor of Professor Mugash, Dr. David Mallasa, and also Dr. Haile Tasamma. Next to that, here is already the context. There is 8 points are already given. The first one here we're having an introduction, literature review, and the next 3 or 4 points are directly linked with the main objective. And finally, we are having a conclusion and future research. Finally, there is a bibliography and the references given. After saying that, here we get to the introduction or simply the epidemiological background of this disease, or we call it DPR. As you know, this is already, I think, most of us, we are not familiar just knowing this DPR disease very well. Then simply this is a viral disease, mainly affecting such small ruminants, specifically such domestic type of small ruminant, sheep and goats. It's caused by such DPR virus. It belongs to virus. This symptom or other characteristics of this disease mostly similar with measles of human disease and also renal-based virus. And this is already described in 1942 around West Africa, specifically the Ivory Coast. We see the global context of this disease, as you see on the map, almost 70 countries of the world, mainly in Asia, Africa, and Middle East, and some of Europe countries. Over 75% of world population live in an area affected by DPR. This indicates how this is economically significant, and here target for. Because of that, such international organization giving more emphasis to eradicate this one by planning in 2030. From the map, as you see here, most of the African country, as you see on the color, already this is distributed over there, and also some of Asia, actually, most of Asian countries also, this is addressed. Other point here, when it comes to its clinical sign, transmission and also its diagnosis type, mainly here is characterized by such clinical sign, high fever. We observe it in the infected small ruminants, so now that discharge, other diarrhea and also pneumonia symptom or sign already appear in the infected parts. And when it comes to the transmission, it's already transmitted directly through contacts. That's a mix of other media mode already. We're having water and some animal movements doing that. This disease can be transmitted. When it comes to the diagnosis part, it can be identified by doing serological laboratory tests, and also there's another alternative antigen detection clinical sign, and also others way to diagnosis this specific disease. When it comes to same parts, Usually, we are point out few of them. Here, generally, it's described by 100% of morbidity and almost mortality also in the live herds when certain infected animal joining non-infected area. This much effect that is having. And economically, estimated up to 1.4 up to 2.4 billion dollar expected annually. And also in the European context, actually, there is now a study that's regarding this economical impact, where generally some literature say about certain thing about economical impacts. We will see later on it, but to see its effect or distribution or presence of this disease in our country, as you see in the left side, the right side, we have a bar graphs given there. Almost all years, this outbreak has happened. This indicates that this is already in our country. This is one initiation just to do our research work on this one to contribute a little in mathematical perspective. After saying that here, risk factors, there are a lot of risk factors already summarized by all simply included with these three main things here: animal movements, specifically here we are raising now restocking, trade, mixed herd, poor biosecurity, some of the factors to aggravate this disease. Another thing is low vaccination, or simply perfect vaccination due to certain infrastructural problem, environmental stress due to droughts. This disease can be aggravated or speed up. When it comes to the control strategy part, mainly the international organization also in our country mentioned that the vaccination is based on just tackling or controlling this disease, but there are other options. Biosecurity and also supporting care of this treatment. By combining these three things, they may handling this problem. After just finish off this economical background of PBR, when it comes to mathematical background, we have this concept here. Why just dealing this problem using a mathematical perspective? Because as you see here, model captures the interaction of pathogen and host environment, and also it's a base decision maker when you just doing problem with mathematical modeling, simplify transition dynamics while preserving accuracy, and also this model used estimating this threshold time that's in production. And because of that, we are just choosing or doing this problem using a mathematical modeling perspective. Another thing here is historical evaluation or the modeling parts. Most of parts we know starting from the 716 by six scholars, Brunos, it's already solving the problem of smallpox model. I think the result shows base trace outputs. That's why the trend is already scaled up still now. Other developments by Rose 9000, it's already applied on malaria and the concept of mathematical model. Mainly here 9027 already a new version of this mathematical modeling perspective. That's a compartmental modeling is already developed by Karl and Henrik. 9027. This is already a simple SR model, but till now just we using that model by advancing by adding another compartment. Here mainly focusing on model type, deterministic type, not organizing a stochastic type, but there is an option already. I will mention later on. It's a feature work doing stochastic type to handling randomness that is distribution. After saying that, what seems like a compartmental model and also analytic assumption in the simple classical SI model. Here, it's by dividing the compartment of the population into three population group, like susceptible, infected, and recovery one. This assumption is already, they are taking homogeneous mixing type with constant population and high probability already considered, but this classical type is called drawback because it does not capture for reality in the reality, but this is already the foundation. It plays great role because we are just starting from this concept. As I mentioned that we can extend by considering age structure, demographic effects, and also spatial temporal heterogeneity can be incorporated with this modeling. Now here we have the optimal control background already. Two of the paper already incorporating this optimal control problem. The main concept of this one, as you see here, we have in the problem is given a system of differential equation like x prime of that in our context that represents our disease model and our targeting minimizing such objects functional in terms of such definite integrals. And then using different principles in our optimal control problem, we can just find the optimal solution to meeting such objective subjects to differential equations. Here its own procedure, we apply in our work, it's the integral Riemann principle. This already give us this condition. Strengthening it to this one, we are incorporating another important theorem as a subject condition. Just using concavity or convexity concept also incorporating that. Here is already mathematical modeling. Throughout paper, mainly we are applying this one to proving a quantitative analysis. We have in corresponding mathematical tools are given, as you see in the right side. Just wasting the time. So for us already we know. Then here, statement of the problem. The main initiation are starting from this form. As you see here, PPR is remaining a major transboundary. This caused high morbidity, mortality, and economic loss in Ethiopia. Still, just despite vaccination with a high coverage of vaccination, still already this is without or outbreaks that happen in our country. Therefore, what's the reason behind that? Just doing just different efforts to control that one, still the outbreaks already happen. Therefore, there are some related risk factors can be incorporated. To agree that one, mathematical model plays a great role to do that. Then, as a research gap here, by observing insufficient model of PPR like other transboundary diseases like the epidemic or the March disease and also roslosis. Those diseases already inaptly done using mathematical and also their outputs to prevent that disease. That's good. Then that is a big initiation to do in our context PPR or applying mathematical on that. Limited integration of risk factor like animal movements, soaking, spatial heterogeneity can be captured, and an adequate cost-effective can be analysis in mathematical model, but there are specifically regarding PPR such limitations observed. No optimal control just regarding such interaction, because in our country context there is a limitation of source resource. Therefore, such doing optimal problem is advisable. Then here our objective already said that develop and analyze deterministic mathematical models to describe transitional PPR in small ruminants and to evaluate the effectiveness of various intervention and control strategy we took. Now we make it more specific. We set this for specific objective: construct mathematical model to handle such effect of vaccination restocking in the context of rural region. And another thing, develop optimal control with the effect of such effective treatment in the population, and also we performing cost effectiveness. Other thing here, we examine the place of animal co-infection of PPR with Shilpen gout. Then here, as significant, obviously, when he just doing that mathematical modeling, we propose certain effective, cost-effective intervention that may reduce such much economical loss were required. So on contribution and for further study development, so on contribution provide evidence to optimize strategy and resource allocation. It also supports policymaker to eradicate this one. Already explained by international, then this may contribute a little bit on that. Advanced modeling methods for other transmitted diseases is the main significance of our study. This is already, we classify our literature in different perspectives. Here we're having reviewed statistical study on here. Before going to just say some about such literature, but limitation of optimal or simply mathematical modeling on PPR. Mainly, a lot of statistical studies are done on PPR, but we are reading a few of them are important in our context. In the first one, we're having one this scholar doing such spatial handling, spatial heterogeneity, and also the outputs indicate that the variation of such zero equivalence observed by taking a national serological survey in Ethiopia, and also he mentioned that different risk factors are aggravating these diseases, and also having heterogeneous distribution throughout our country. Another friendly, he also performing a cross-sectional study based on such prospective data, specifically in Amhara region, and also he also mentioned that such sex reproducible and others related factors also indicated, and also it's recommended that regular surveillance, so sex vaccination are recommended by him. And lastly here, in this study here, occurrence of co-infection with PPR and SGP or Shilpen pox. Different scholars already mentioned the instance of the coexistence of these two diseases. Then here we come to the review models on PPR. We have other Haman scholar here. It's already done the dynamics of PPR in the United Arab Emirates, using such a stochastic type, North America animal system management, and the result, as he indicates, that the two integrated control already help us to reduce this much, as you see here, reducing the outbreak by 75%, and reduce incidence time by 77%, and also the learning cost by 43%. Yeah, okay, 2%. I'm afraid that this is all over. This study already give a positive part of such studies. Similarly, there are others review already done on PPR. We are just taking such concept. Other thing here, review model with optimal control, because we apply optimal control concept in our context. Therefore, we are catch up certain trend of other animal diseases that are already modeled by mathematics, as well as also by optimal control. Those already taken as experiments to build or to develop modeling by incorporating optimal control. This is already the first work on this one, modeling the fear with vaccination restocking, especially in Amhara region. As you see on the right side, we have this compartmental modeling. The new thing here, as usual, type of this modeling type for the vaccination, also other remark here, we are incorporating such restocking in other compartments. the flow as you see there. These things already assuming that there is infected or other disease status taken from the smoking, they are already inducing to different population group. Their own effects on the dynamics of PPR. We are capturing that one. Therefore, we are taking such assumption, obviously, then the model becomes changed into this system of differential equations. Then, when it comes to its analytical and numerical result, the first one, obviously, we make sure that the system must be well posed, and we are just stating a certain visible region. Then this is already done by using different terms mentioned there, extensive uniqueness, using because the right side of our system meeting contains differentiable functions, therefore that meeting big criteria, therefore there exists unique and also the solutions exist and also it becomes unique. Then related with the non-negativity, our system needs positive invariant. We are applying that here. Moreover, we can see between on the rotation. And then here we have the extensive stability analysis by considering different cases. Suppose there is no flow effective in making alpha 3 equal 0, then there is free can be complete that one and the control or effective brush number using next generation matrix can be computed. Other thing here, other without intervention, we compute also basic brush number by making the vaccination 0. Then we can relate this control with basic reproduction by the last pages. Then here we have rearranging the control reproduction number. We have such a threshold quantity that's representing the vaccination rate. When RV equals to 1 or RV is less than 1, obviously that is die out. Therefore, how such WCR, this time threshold vaccination should be. Therefore, here by rearranging these things, we can determine, after determining each parameter, we can determine such specific value C to arrive the herd immunity or to make sure that it's die out. Related with analytical analysis, we have the PDPRD is frequently called in our model and already locally asymptotic stable when RB is 1. And the proof is already done by linearization and also by combining previous criteria. Other thing here, RB design equals to 1. This frequent code evaluates a global asymptotically stable. This is done by taking the concept of node and the global stable national zero. Then here, the endemic reform can be computed. Still already we are in the context of flow effective through restocking. restocking also having a positive effect to aggravate the disease. Then here, the case of the scenario when such alpha with alpha is different from 0, this indicates the fact that the lack of these free group, we don't expect that when settings are already different from means, there is a confidence level of effect that dominate the effect 1, therefore diagonal I minus to 0. Then because of that, we are determining only the instance of endemic. So the different combination of here, we have the uniqueness of this endemic, and also we prove it the abnormal function using the abnormal function, the global set of this endemic form. Then with a Yibekal simulation, seems like this one for the case of searching flow is already 0, especially when epsilon is 0.05 means just our vaccination efficiency is already 0.65. 0.65. As you see here, with this efficiency, now in our context with taking such parameter, the trajectory, or simply the trajectory RMA in our cities or just above the plane RMA constants 1. What's its interpretation here? Always was RMA is greater than 1. Now see the scenario here. Now, contrastly here, when you take in when the epsilon or the vaccination efficiency here 0.8, therefore, as you see here, the certain value of rho inverse of such vaccine coverage, then RMA may less than 1. Then this is already the interplay between restocking and vaccination. These plots mainly give us a brief understanding of the effect of such restocking and less vaccination. Now we say column-wise, increasing the vaccination efficiency that substantially reduce the infection peaks and outbreak duration. As you can observe it, just column-wisely, and also high restocking rates alpha and alpha phosphate, then constantly high infection level, especially when such vaccination efficiency is less than. When you take epsilon equal 0.9 means it's weak efficiency, that means 0.1, 14% covered. Then summary of our finding is pretty much confirmed that the global stability is free, and here also R1 greater than 1 will exhibit unique local stability point. The control production number RMAs to the estimated parameter we have in 1.05 with certainty. Then this is already confirmed that this is already endemic in our region. Now we are looking at the effect of restocking by that plot. This is already the second paper. Here we have another version of model here by incorporating effective restocking, so effective recruitment and cost-effective optimal control of EPR and Ethiopia. The modeling formulation, as you see here, a simple type, AC and IFB, model type. The basic assumption here, through restocking, certain infected and also susceptible, jointly susceptible infected eye. The source is already out of the region. Here, already we are using transaction rates, such mass action, and also such assumption are incorporated in our modeling. Then the model equation can be given by this one. Like others, we performing such well postness, just let me name it, obviously it's well post. Another thing here, the absence of effective animals restocking. Now we are taking this scenario. Now we okay this free and also corresponding impression and control impression number. Specifically, we are determining such tertiary vaccination as well. The presence of effective animals restocking here. We are expecting that this is free, but instead of that, we have it, and then it will call. Now, the way of just instance of unique, we are just integrating different tier of extent of all types of root of such as degree as polynomial in terms of I star should be proven, and also just regarding uniqueness we are stating this theorem that's related with such threshold omega c. This is a very important result. Mainly you can understand it depends on the coefficient. We can determine the instance of each unique. And lastly, we hope that the global stability of our endemic report using, as usual, the log node here. And also the first we have here we are integrated that model incorporating such controls. The full control are incorporated. We obtain optimal control problem as you see on the right side here. Mainly you want to represent external biosecurity. This biosecurity we are just assuming that such action, such controlling this disease, internal biosecurity, incorporating hygiene, identification, and also other state vaccination also and treatment. And incorporating these controls in our model, optimal control can be given there. As I told you that by defining such objective function and minimizing this one is by this integrand is defined by combining the cost of the intervention as well as the background that means that the exposed input. So there's reducing the main target here, reducing that mutation and also minimizing also the intervention. Now doing this principle, necessary principle, we are obtaining such one optimal control. Finally, when you come to its Yibekal simulation, you will obtain the same thing here. We observe that the effectiveness of this constant vaccination and treatment with respect to these controlling production numbers. And the effect of effective restocking specifically to show its effects with the effect. Here we observe that by making specific values such alpha, alpha 1, alpha 2, we observe that its effect here. Without such flow of effective, then obviously we see this much, 0.1, we can just control it, and here with little presence of such flow of effective. Now, whenever you take such a higher level of constant vaccination treatment, never just the nucleus never die out. Similarly, we try to just show you the global stability of our model to verify our analytical results. We're doing that by taking different initial values. Here we are just taking different combination of controls, or by taking different control strategy. We observe that which strategy are more cost effective as well as which strategy can reduce more infection, or the number of adversity is high, that becomes only based one. By doing that, we observe that strategy A having a combination of the controls as the basis. We are choosing strategy A by applying the biosecurity as a solution here. And in the case of scenario limits, considering all the controls, three controls as the strategy, as a combination. Here we have a strategy is the base, and regarding the control containing four controls, here this one is also the base. And by comparison of this strategy, mainly SC or performing the control strategy having four controls is the base. Just in terms of total cost or average infection, this one is already chosen, and here we are in summary of such finding. Other thing here we having another advancement of the model, and this case we are taking the spatial heterogeneity of Ethiopia. Then by looking at this heterogeneity of these diseases, we are just classifying such zone into two, that means lowland and highland. The lowland, suppose they are just taking a group of population just living in the pastoral, and the case of highland just taking a group of population living in the settlement rather than the pastoral. Just doing that, we are using compartment, and we are having this assumption already already there, as you see on the flow diagram. And so another regarding a mobility matrix, we are taking such assumption and also a parameter, obviously negative. And this can be already handled by using such mathematical equations. We have 8 equations because we have a multi-group model.
Mr. Yibekal, I will type the running
I'll try to just finish off presentation and the person. Okay. When it comes to the analysis parts, obviously this is already positive when plus, and here's the company production number. Then we taking different scenario. The first one, isolate district. We have a isolate production number in the case of one unidirectional movement, specifically lowland to highland. Now our production number, control production number can be defined either way. And the case of basic production number without such intervention, we have this one. And stability analysis, obviously, either be less than 1 or be greater than 1, it shows us the stability and the stability of our. This is the main point. Then here in the reconsolidation, we try to just look at different scenario of the movement pattern. In all pattern, you can see in the last column here, we have a greater than 1 reproduction number. This is case by default. Already there is already endemic when this movement is already continue. You can see that. Now here, we try to just make a scenario by taking different value. What seems like here with the current vaccination, with greater than 1 PPS persists. We obtain restricting movement from highland to lowland can not be reduced lowland is burden bidirectional on both sides. This is already making this persist. To look at that scenario, we are doing this vaccination impact without animal movement. We all see that. Mainly here, now to determine with this scenario, what should be the maximum vaccination that is determined by this counter approach. And here you can see, particularly by making with that range, some value specifically. Here obviously the two dynamics or the diags in lowland and highland. This is already diags. Therefore, we are just using this optimal use of vaccination. As summary here we have it, and last scenario here we see the co-infection part, co-infection with G and the gold box with PPR. Now this is already the flow diagram as you see here. The co-infection, that means the assumption here we are using the host as susceptible. Here we have P's represent the concentration of such hosts, and here the scenario we captured by using such force of infection, as I mentioned in the second point. Here we have this equation, and finally, as usual, we are just doing the next part of this co-infection. Considering the scenario PPR only modeling is just ignoring the presence of CGP, and similarly for the interface CGP, wherein with PPR, their dynamics already made. Here we have this corresponding this fully already obtained, this corresponding production number, corresponding to stability, local stability, we performing such theorem. Now, finally, the co-infection model is is free when the two are happening at the same time. That is, interact with a single host. Here we having control production that can be using the next generation matrix. And finally, we just performing the plant stability. And regarding the optimal control, we proposing four controls. The first one is vaccination, treatment, alcohol patients, sanitation, disinfection, specifically to controlling costs. And finally, we are defining such object functional. We are doing that with obtaining this optimal solution. Finally, we performing a Yibekal simulation. The Yibekal simulation suggests that scenario A to control strategy. Here we have, and this in the case of this one is one scenario. That means it's combination of U1 and U2. This specifically using the vaccination mismatch versus and already reduce and use a low cost. And low cost similarly for scenario B means by using a combination of strategy, and finally we have a strategy here is optimal, mismatch diversity is obtained, and also low costs be observed. And finally, in the case of control, this one is more effective and low cost and maximum patient effort compared with another scenario. This is a summary of this force model, and finally the conclusion: integrated control in institutional vaccination and consumption to eradicate PPR in Ethiopia due to restocking and animal movement, targeting this very institutional regarding the vaccination. Cost effectiveness is also important, especially by just to achieve the cost effectiveness, we suggest a combination of such control at level. The mathematical guidelines here are only provides actually a possible to say robust, but it's essential in such RV. That's very important to decision making, and foundation for education is more established, certainly to support the elimination goal of in our country, limitation, not of limitation, and also other recommendation. I say certain thing here, data scarcity is the main challenge over here is parameter solution and limited such obligated national incidence reports are by exhaustion spatial data, and considering spatial model. Model simplification, simplicity. We are using node model in terms of that does not just handle the stochastic nature or randomness of that. It's also another limitation. Assuming assumption dependency, some parameter already assumed that's already just because of the limitation of literature. And other limiting thing here are where just rating other recommendation focus on risk factor important, and adopt combined intervention, strengthening the system, and also collaboration with different disciplines. Very important to achieve base result, which research work, advanced model by integrating stochastic and incorporating such factors age and seasonality. So, things already incorporate is very important. Future work. With that, dependent regarding the vaccination, we are just planning inducing such and finally, improve parameterization is also another recommendation. These already are publication. The first three are published, and it's a journal. And finally, we have already using such reference. Just mention as element, element God, and also his mother, helping unconditionally, and also family, and the organization like it's so wonder, means just this
it will give the chance of for the examiners. This will minimize.
May I ask some question or?
Yeah, you can ask. You can give comments. The presenter, Dr. Anurag. You can continue now, please.
Okay, so nice presentation. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you for this good work. Very nice piece of work. But before approving your thesis, I have some observation and some, I can say, some doubts about your work. So as I thoroughly read your thesis and I have some observation, and the first observation regarding your chapter, just model number 1, that chapter 3rd in your thesis. In your model number 1, you include restocking in the model. Why you include restocking? Go to your model number 1.
Go to model 1, number 1. Correct. Yeah, no, model 1. The Walle, she is asking some question.
Yeah, model 1.
Model 1. Again.
Okay, this one?
Model 1. This one, madam.
Yes. Restocking. Yes, model 1.
Continue our question.
So here you include restocking. Why? What is the motivation of including restocking?
Okay, thank you, doctor. The motivation already I mentioned in the objective part or the statement of the problem. Providing the vaccination state that this is already outbreak. Then there is some already in our mind. There is some factor that's continuing this disease. Therefore, when this looking different literature, we observe that gravity is just maybe some sort of layer, not only vaccination by integrating with another biosecurity, it can be handling this problem. Therefore, that's the initiation, just incorporating this stocking part there. This is one factor. Most of the literature mentioning this one, the introduction of new ruminants in law, that is already means of how to break. Therefore, that's why just incorporating this one and also make to just iterate that.
So if you remove the restocking, then what will happen in your model?
Yeah, just to remove that one means just it's a contribution for a national strategy or national target to eradicating the disease in 2027. Now finding we did that the basic control strategy, especially here a biosecurity, I mentioned that incorporating with this scenario, just possibly handling this problem. Handling this problem means we are reducing the disease burden as well as reaching to just controlling and also eradicating the disease.
Okay. So now go to your result of this model.
Okay. Key findings.
Okay. Just hold here. Okay. Actually, I want to know that which parameter is most strongly affects the persistence of the disease?
As you see here, the first point, you can observe column Y, increasing vaccination efficiency, reduce infection and route proliferation. You can observe this high flow like alpha 2 like alpha 3. As you see, the peak is already dark peak. Observe that. And when I'm talking within such low efficiency, so it's a bit dark. You can see the column Y is here. And so it's already wearing 10% vaccine. 10% vaccination. So, what is the effect? Alpha 1 new susceptible. When it just goes to the alpha 2 and alpha 3, so the presence the last two and the first we are considering alpha. Alpha means effect on the infection part. Possibly with high efficiency, we can just that is already die out. But there is a thing here, in the presence of such
Mr. Walle, you are not audible properly.
Ma'am. It's not audible. Hello?
Yeah, we are also.
Ma'am.
You can find out, you can continue. I think he is trying to reply to you. So you can continue, please.
Okay. My next observation is you heterogeneity or homogeneity in your model.
just we are in this scenario we are looking homogeneous type.
Homogeneity.
Yeah, homogeneous mixing type already. We applied.
Homogeneity mixing here, right?
Yeah.
But it looks unrealistic here.
Can you repeat, madam?
My question is, why is homogeneous mixing is unrealistic here?
Okay, actually, with certainty, it may just having certain insights. As you observe in the result here, say something that's important for a decision maker. That's why we are just trying to addressing that. It's always there's limitation. As a limitation part, we mentioned that it's all limitation, not capturing randomness and not capturing other structure related. But with such certainty, but it has its advantage. It has such insights. It can be a benchmark or it can be a basement for the advancement of others' important research.
So if I say that this assumption of your model is the most unrealistic in real life?
Can you repeat it? I don't understand what you said. Please repeat.
I'm asking if I'm talking because you are taking compartment model in your thesis, right?
Yeah.
Question is, what assumption of your model are the most unrealistic in real life? You have taken many assumptions.
Yeah, it's a good question actually. I appreciate that. One of the assumptions is homogeneity, as you mentioned. The reality, we know everything is heterogeneous type. That assumption is already like a basement we are using, but in the reality, its own uncertainty.
And can you tell me that which parameter are most sensitive here?
I mentioned that this transmission is based on high density. Because as you see, already we have seen that for specifically, that's big 100% of transmission rate is related to others.
Continue or?
Yes, I want to continue. Actually, please let me know that how reliable is the data you used for parameter estimation.
I mentioned that with the certainty, we are just trying to estimating the powering value as you see on the shared slide. Here already we're using the data theory, the reported data. Specifically, we are just doing fundraising in the Amara region, specifically Ethiopia Amara region. Then from the reported one, by preparing that one monthly data, we are using monthly data. Actually, in the meantime, you can go through the dissertation part. You can see where we are just taking or where we using such data for parameter estimation. Just we are trying to make it realistic, by the way. But as I mentioned, and the limitation part, there is no adequate data already in our country context. Because of that, just such things may happen. But with certainty, I said that it has advantage of give us certain insight.
Okay. Now go to model number 2. Model 2.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we talking about optimal control in Ethiopia.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Just go to your model. Model question. Yes. Here. Okay. So you applied optimal control here, right? Combined control.
On this occasion, not just incorporating the control.
Control.
The control parts?
Yes, control part. Go to the control part.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. So there is, you take many control intervention here, U1, U2, U3, U4. Okay?
Yeah.
Why don't you choose a single control? What is the advantage of these three, this combined control here?
By default, just by looking different literature, already finally indicate that combined control is advisable. In our context here, we have possibly we have four options or four controls. Now, as you see on the dissertation parts, clearly simulating that the effect of such a combination. Surely, the combination part, the combination of such control is more effective in terms of reduction of infection as well as minimizing the intervention on the cost. That's why just incorporating more controls over here. Those already visible just to apply that.
So we can say that vaccination is not sufficient here. We have to implement the other measures also, like the external biosecurity, internal biosecurity.
Yeah, from the numerical simulation indicates that we only apply such maximum vaccination with presence of such flow. That means effective treatment flow. Possibly just controlling that. Then incorporating vaccination with others is important because this continuous flow of infected in the body that you see. The result I find that also indicate that flow just joining the infected, the exposed part and also the infected part. Then to handling their effect, the condition forces us just using others controls rather than only using vaccination.
Okay. Go to model number 3.
This one?
Yes. Why you choose 2 different zones in Ethiopia?
It's a good question. From different literature and also especially mathematical model paper, I observed that the heterogeneity of the PPR in the 2 different agricultural system. Therefore, there is also a movement pattern between them. These things already motivate us to just modeling such scenario by using this multi or two-group SR model type. Already we observed that such heterogeneity of the dynamics of PPR in the 2 zones. That's the initiation point, just capturing that scenario using this 2 SCR model.
So, do you have any evidence of that PPR SGP network, that SGP interaction?
Please say again.
Do you have any biological evidence of this PPR SPG interaction?
Maybe the interaction between these lowland and highland populations, we didn't get into this one.
Doctor, we couldn't get your idea. Can you paraphrase it?
Okay, so just go forward to your result, then I'll explain. Just go to your result of that model. And then
Charlie, just regarding the evidence, of course, there is already flow of such Ruminants between the 2 zones for marketing purpose and searching water and also grazing practice. There are just already there is a movement between them. The flow, specifically the flow from lowland to highland, it's high.
so this is the migration between lowland to highland.
Yeah, specifically lowland to highland is high flow because the situation around that there is a limitation of resource. That means just regarding water points and also the grazing area, just to get that thing, such pastoral system, the owner of such small Ruminant move to the highland. This makes already practical.
Actually, this question is from the next model, model 4. Actually, I'm having your thesis also, so I'm just go to model number 4. This question is related to that particular model. Model 4 that is related to that co-infection, right?
This one.
animal model, you take SGP also here. Okay, so what is the biological evidence of PPR and SGP interaction here? This is my question related to this model, model 4.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, already we have lost the literature around India. Such conflicts already happened by taking serum of the such laboratory process. They are making sure that the stance of this testimony. I mentioned when you read the dissertation, make sure you can get there the difference. Make sure the coexistence of these two diseases. Now we customize in our country here. Actually, we have no evidence for happening of this COVID patient, but the two diseases already outbreaking in our country context. Therefore, possibly there is some traction. Our target is just showing this one.
So good, Dr. Walle, but I have one observation. In your thesis, all the model are deterministic. Why don't you choose stochastic model?
That's good questions. Already we plan to just join in that stream, but in the meantime, we are just taking the course of deterministic type. There is some gap of no.
Think about that.
Have you got my idea?
Yes. Actually, I'm thinking that why don't you use stochastic model? You should involve stochastic modeling on your work, because when we talk about the heterogeneity, more.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the meantime already we are just taking the course of deterministic type. There is some knowledge gap just to performing such stochastic, but we know its importance, especially in our real situation, to capturing this reality, randomness reality. That's approach very important. I know. That's why just we put in the future work.
Okay, so last question from my side, and question is, what is the limitation of your thesis? What is the limitation of a thesis work?
Yeah, of course. The limitation I mentioned lastly here. Let me show you that here is clearly stating the limitation. Most here data scarcity to just getting more realistic farming distribution. Such already we're facing such difficulty. Model simplicity already I told you that instead of using stochastic to handle randomness, we already model using a deterministic type. This is already due to such knowledge gap, but surely we are just planning to do that. And also assumption because of lack of that also, and specifically to put some parameter related with movement pattern. We are just assuming based on a certain expert opinion. Such thing is already read as a limitation.
Okay, fine. So that's all my side. Nice piece of work, Mr. Walle. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Now, let me give the chance for Dr. Langasar. Dr. Langasar.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the chance. Really, I want to congratulate the Department of Mathematics, and also I want to congratulate the supervisors of the student, as well as I want to really congratulate from my heart Mr. Yibekal for his nice presentation, and also the way of communication is highly appreciated.
Thank you so much.
Saying this, let me start with providing minor comment related to really university guidelines and some minor typos and the like. I will highlight this briefly. And when necessary, I will also ask randomly questions from the dissertation. When I come back to the title, I think I sent my comments to the department, and I don't know whether you saw it or not. I think it would be better if you reconsider the title. Otherwise, I think it will be, produce unnecessary effect. If you look at in title, it is not recommended to use abbreviations or acronyms. Another one, you say in Ethiopia. Is from Amara region. Hello? Hello, Mr. Yibekal. Are you with me?
Yeah. I hear you.
Yes. I think it would be better if you, I think, say mathematical modeling and optimal control strategy for Peste, PCT, ruminant dynamics. Simply, if you say that one is general, whether you take data from Amara region, from any welfare, it would make more sense, maybe in consultation with your supervisor. Also, try to use university guideline. Sometimes you say thesis, sometimes you say dissertation. Fix one of the two. In our context, dissertation is usually for PhD and the thesis is for master's. Just based on the university format, try to fix such minor things. The others also similar comment on the abstract. Try to revise based on the comment given. I do not want to read that one line by line. The most important one is avoid acronymy in the dissertation, and also try to focus on the way you use on the contracting maximum principle is not used here. It is used what used is minimum principle. Such minor issues should be clear from the document. The other one also include keywords and other like, and also try to make citations uniformly. Also, everywhere there are some citation problems. They are not available. Please try to avoid simple things from your work, because you will document this one for the coming student. Avoid redundancy, repetitions, and also do not cite the same paper many times. That one is one of your main problems. Avoid such things. And also when you list tables and the figures, simply the title says list of tables and a list of figures, but figures are not there. Simply at the title it's there. Avoid that. Using you use LaTeX. If you Google and search it immediately, you can run it, and avoid such things so that your work is smart. Another point, you put your work based on your paper, but in each chapter you put conclusion. Remove that one, move to the last chapter, or move to the last chapter and properly write that one in the chapter 7. Again, when there are long statements, so that it is readable, try to split into paragraphs, and so that it makes more attractive. Avoid capitalization. Generally make this one uniform, so that it is really very nice work. Saying this, let me give you strong comments. The other up to now I gave you really minor comments. When you look at the format of your university, you need to include research methods. I give material, it is not there. Try to include that one. Since the format asks you, try to include that one in your work, in the dissertation. In the dissertation, you didn't say nothing about the research method. Is right, Mr. Yibekal? Hello. Research method is not there. Please try to include that one in your work.
I will go through that. Actually, let me tell you that. In the meantime, I appreciate your patience here. I see a lot of things, comments. Most of the comments already deleted or corrected. I appreciate that. Already, as you said, everything line by line, page by page. I try to just correct that one. I will share you a little bit already. There is some words already not addressed, but most of the thing, as you commented, just I tried that to correct that.
Really,
I will send you a after finishing that.
okay, thank you very much. Also, if you improve that one, also I expect from you to the improvement of the terms at each beginning, if you look at landmass report 1.1 and in the latest in the chapter 4, the same chapter 5, the same. I hope you also on your presentation is there try to also improve that one, because we the university really document this one and make smart move for the landmass as well as the next chapter also on the positivity, because you must also connect with important terms from the analytical system.
Can I show you the improvement of there is a dissertation over this slide. I will show that.
I am really more than happy, and I will minimize my question if you show me.
It's very important. That's why I admit that the mistake already I have done it. But here, let me try to show that the progress of the edited one.
Okay, if you do that, really I appreciate it.
Let me a little bit here. There is can you see?
It's not visible. It's not shared so far.
Wait a minute. What about now? Where are we now?
Still not there. Now you are here. Yeah, now it is visible.
I need to comment, starting from the title. Already, I used it here. You comment the title, as you see.
And now, if you consider that one, I will take few time, and then I will ask you 2 or more points. But what lastly I want to say before forgetting, really I appreciate also you include on your conclusion and the recommendation. Yeah, really very appreciate. Really, this is what I want.
Yeah,
also the terms. Yeah, this one is also alphabetically. Really, you did it good.
Let me show you others to be analytical. Here I try to just capture anything, and here there is a motivation for the such data instead of just descriptive. Here, let me tell you the main comments.
Okay. Okay, just you did it now. Can you just let me ask you a simple question? A simple question. You did really according to the important. Really, you did it very, very nice. Let me ask you one simple question here.
Okay.
You use the concept of invariancy. What does that mean?
Invariance means already I'm trying to translate with closeness directly, but when it's starting from initially, then that initially from the region, the solution also lies in that region. It means already
A little bit loud. Loud it a little bit. It's not.
Okay. Do you hear me now? Do you hear me?
What does environment mean?
Environment means here when you take initial within that visible region, then the solution also lies within that visible region. Or in terms of tangent, sometimes it can be expressed. That tangent already pointing in that visible region, inside that visible region. That means here when you show that the negativity, especially because we are considering a risk situation, therefore that must be bound with a positivity. Therefore, taking a negative initial condition, the solution also, wherever T is very large, that also lies within this visible region.
Okay, great. Now, in your model, you use mass action rather than the standard form of incidence. What is the reason behind you use? Now you take data from different parts of Amara region. On the other hand, you use mass action. Is this one really make sense?
Actually, in our assumption or in formulation, we suppose the structure of this small ruminant as the density dependent means already this scenario can be captured by mass action instead of standard type. But sometimes alternatively, we can use it standard type. It's all drawback actually, as you mentioned from the comment on the dissertation. I admit that later down there, considering mass action, for the sake of simplicity, such homogeneity makes it available, but just confidentially, we cannot say handling such reality. But in our assumption, we're considering such small ruminant or living in such density dependent. That's why we are choosing a mass action instead of standard.
Of course, in the future you have to think about that one because you use restocking and that one may really inflate and the conclusion will not be correct. That is why it is that question. Take as an homework in your future work.
Yes, we are taking. Actually, it's a concrete comment. Surely we having such a progress.
Can you go to page 21? Have you seen some really a minor but make something a critical problem? Have you seen about that there? In your proof you use epsilon v plus s so t is less than epsilon v naught plus s naught. Look, there is a dynamics of external inflow. Did you correct that one or make something so that it is really make some sense or may really make some scientifically sound? On page 21.
You are right. Actually, I have seen that scenario. Just we try just to verify that inequality. Capturing such are not less than one is already below one stability of this is free. Actually, by taking the S equation and V equation, their boundedness, I'm considering that, like by sum upping over all the state variable and finally determining the bound of T like that. I'm trying just to verify by that way, but there is a little gap. I'm not confident. Just frankly speaking, I'm observed like you. There is some modification, maybe square instead of RV, maybe such RV may modified. Must be modified. I will go through that.
Yeah, really. Anyway, try to really try to correct, or if possible, try to correct that one. Otherwise, say something about that so that this really makes some sound.
I will say something.
Can you go to again a minor question when you compute about this is regular endpoint? There is also minor problems. When you include something, eliminate that one from that one. I don't want to comment it. Can you please go to page 13?
On the thesis part or the slide, just PPT?
On your thesis part. Yeah. On page 13.
This one? This one?
On table, yeah, table 3 or something table here about that. There is table, let me check. Table 3-2.
Table 3-2.
Yeah, I know. You are just.
Yeah. Did you find really that this confidence interval of confidence? Have you checked that one? If you calculate the report recovery rate with 90% confidence interval, 0.61 to 1.5664 per month stays. But when you calculate average infection period, 1 over that number is about 16.3 months. When you compare the disease, it is viral disease. It's really you really can you say this one really is this really biologically makes sense? Can you explain?
You are right, Doc. Actually, I mentioned when you present, the main challenge is getting self-educate data. By the way, this is happening due to that limit of data. If you have more data, as you know, it can be easily handling such parametric process. This is happening due to such limitation and also random type, not just representing normal prevalence of the disease, or we are filtering from the reported data. Due to that, already such certainty happened. But as I mentioned in the presentation, with this certainty, it may say something, or it's advantage, it has advantage, or it's already correctly insights for the policymaker. Just I admit that, yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, if such things is as a problem, try to make, because if you take this one from or assumption or something else, try to make so that it is really meet with biological meaning.
Okay.
Another one, can you say something? Yes?
Dr. Lankasa tried to wind up because of time it is better to go fast, I think. Sorry for the
Yes, actually, I have to leave because here the 6:15 in India. 6:15 in India, so I have to leave because my home is 20 kilometers away here. So
I can wind up, no problem. No problem. Just I will can you go to optimal control part? I will no problem. In one question I can wind it up. Mr. Yibekal.
Okay,
you use optimal control. You study in one of two or three of them. You are using optimal control. Yeah. How do you? What is the purpose of using Hamiltonian, and how you really know whether your model has the existence of optimal control or not? This is the two question. The other one, if your controls are really exist, how do you know whether that really a minimizer or not?
It's good questions. Actually, when you're computing the optimal control, especially EMR or simply for the maximum principle, minimum principle, it's already give us the candidate of the optimal solution. But further, there are other related theorems that give us the sufficient condition, especially by finding the second partial derivative of h with respect to that's U, should make sure that that's greater than 1, that give us the guarantee for the instance of such minimum value. Furthermore, by looking the numerical simulation to observe that really that existing solution is optimal. By that way, we can just make sure that how that computed solution is optimal. Again,
please could you repeat for the existence part?
For existence,
you say the optimal existence exists if it satisfies this and this condition. Can you tell like that?
Existence of optimal, or they are related theorems that give us the guarantee. Especially here, the convexity, related with convexity, we checking that the states convex related.
If the first functional is convex and the domain is convex, then we expect the existence of unique optimal control. That is it. Again, what about the Hamiltonian? Can you tell us why? What is the necessity of using Hamiltonian function?
Actually, the concept of optimal control is already based on the calculus of variation. The calculus of variation we have. If you have the constraint, we are joining the subjects of the differential with.
Thank you very much. But for that one, you convert constraint optimization to unconstraint optimization. The purpose is for that.
So handling constraint.
Okay, thank you very much. The other is
Congratulations, Dr. Walle.
Madam, please be patient because we have to decide the result of our student, the 3 examiners. I know that in India, it's very nice. It will be nice. I know that, but try to be patient because we have to decide our students' the result of the team. 5 minutes. Finish in 5 minutes, okay? Okay. Continue, Dr. Abdul, the internal examiner. I will give you only 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to congratulate Yibekal and his supervisors, JYT, David, and Walle. So the thesis is substantial, original, and impact. I'm really very happy to see this research. Even if you already mentioned that this data scarcity problem might have resulted in some of inconsistencies in some of the results and the assumptions that you already made due to this scarcity of some literatures for some of the parameters. So let me simply try to ask a few questions. The main question that I would like to ask is about this parameter estimation aspect. In almost all of your models, you use this least square techniques, and we know unless some question is taken while we are just doing this technique, the parameter estimation result may not be unique if we are just considering this least square technique. So, what kind of technique or what kind of measure did you take? Because sometimes for the design matrix might be rapidly seen. So what was the technique that you considered while you are just trying to estimate the parameters on the right side?
Estimation as we just planning to apply another advanced way of taking some parameter estimation. just to handle that, we
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Let me add one more question. And the other question is, I have been trying to look at this residual for some of your models. For example, in page 30.
Sorry, I observed that.
I see the residuals are simply vanishing theoretic kind of things. And what does that really mean?
Actually, that indicates also this type, this wave type means it indicates instead of just using our such deterministic, maybe one is just incorporating seasonal effect. Maybe that result directs us to just incorporating such seasonal pattern in our movie that may handle such variety and also reducing such residual years.
Yeah, so the residual thing needs to be the word part. The seasonality needs to be grasped in the model instead of to the residual part. I think that some informations are already lost in the residual. I mean, I understand that way. The other question, last question, I finish this. You try to consider this meta population by considering two regions, rural and highland. What do you think about your results with if you consider a couple of more regions instead of two? If you consider that the topography in Ethiopia is very dynamic and we don't have this one lead, so do you think that the results will be changing? I mean, for example, if you consider some more meta populations.
Of course, it's also advisable instead of just
your advice. I mean,
I also that. Instead of considering too much, if you just extend them more, that's the capturing or very important. Just propose more effective control mechanism. Because in such a distribution, just appreciate your comments.
One last thing that I may need to mention is about this. Your last project or your last model has this code injection thing. And maybe you may discuss with your supervisors. This SGP thing is not mentioned in your finding. So, do you think that is not important for you just because that is your work also? And you just doesn't say anything about that. I share Dr. Legacy's concern about this. The data, okay, you already said it in the Mahara region, but you mentioned Ethiopia. Well, I share that, and besides this, I also just if you mention that thing, used to just for
Actually, in the dissertation, I'm trying to say something. But just minimizing the slides, I think just incorporating detail about
thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Any question from the audience? All the examiners? Challenging questions. Now I give